All of y'all was there to check on me and push me up, and I want to tell y'all I appreciate that. I love that. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't get those messages. And I want to thank everybody here from the bottom of my heart, you know, that really cared about me. And we are a musical family, and we have to be there for each other. And now because we are a family, I have to be honest. You know, for the last 2 days, I've been conflicted. You know, I'm being honored by the industry that I love, the family that I love, but there's an elephant in the room, and it's not just about the Grammys. There's discrimination and injustice everywhere at an all-time high. But there's something I need to say to the Grammys, and I changed my middle name to Love, so it's Sean Love Combs now. You don't have to call me a different name. It's an added-on name if you want to call me Love. So I say this with love to the Grammys, because you really need to know this.
It started with whispers, then came the headlines. On May 5, 2025, in the heart of Lower Manhattan, a federal courtroom erupted with allegations so serious they threatened to collapse a music empire decades in the making. Sean Diddy Combs, a name once synonymous with luxury, success, and hip-hop royalty, now finds himself at the center of a legal firestorm, facing 5 federal charges ranging from sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy to transporting individuals with the intent to engage in prostitution. Diddy isn't just fighting for his reputation. He's fighting for his freedom. Prosecutors claim there's a dark undercurrent beneath the surface of his glamorous empire, one laced with manipulation, coercion, and secrets kept under wraps for years. The courtroom had become a stage for a high-stakes drama, and every day seems to uncover a new layer. One of the most damning testimonies so far came from Eddie Garcia, a hotel security worker who claimed that Diddy paid $100,000 for a single surveillance video. The footage, reportedly captured in 2016, allegedly shows Diddy physically assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hotel hallway. The prosecution says this isn't just about a single act of violence. They believe that video supports far more disturbing claims allegations that Cassie was coerced into sex parties involving male escorts, all orchestrated under Diddy's control. The accusations are chilling, and they paint a picture that's hard to ignore. If convicted, Diddy could spend the rest of his life behind bars. And while the case is stacked with explosive revelations, it's who's now being pulled into the spotlight that has everyone talking. Because suddenly, the courtroom drama isn't just about Diddy anymore. For Burna Boy, the link to Diddy once seemed like a career-defining moment. In 2020, the Nigerian superstar made global waves with twice as tall an album that not only cemented his international presence but also snagged him a Grammy. Behind the scenes, one of the driving forces was none other than Sean Diddy Combs. As executive producer, Diddy brought American polish to Burna's Afrofusion fire, even appearing in promotional clips hyping up the project. But fast forward 5 years, and that very connection now drags Burna into a legal circus he never signed up for. The shock came when reports surfaced that he had been subpoenaed to testify in the federal case. And while Burna Boy hasn't been accused of any wrongdoing, the court clearly believes his testimony could hold weight. Why him? It's not just about a Grammy collab. Sources close to the investigation suggest prosecutors are digging into what happened behind closed doors during the production of Twice as Tall. Studio sessions, meetings, after parties, any situation where Diddy's behavior might have raised red flags. Burna Boy, as someone who worked closely with him during that period, might have seen or heard more than he realized at the time. It's a startling twist. One moment, you're celebrating chart-topping success. The next, you're caught in the orbit of one of the biggest celebrity trials in years. And for Burna Boy, the question isn't just what he'll say on the stand, but how it could reshape the public's view of him and Diddy. But this wasn't the first time someone close to Diddy found themselves dragged into the mess. For years, the rumors surrounding Diddy and Cassie Ventura were just that, rumors. Whispers of control, manipulation, and a toxic relationship that ended in silence. But the courtroom changed everything. When hotel security employee Eddie Garcia took the stand, he dropped a bombshell that stunned even the most jaded courtroom observers. According to Garcia, back in 2016, a hotel surveillance camera captured an explosive incident, Diddy physically assaulting Cassie in a hallway. Not long after, he claims Diddy paid a staggering $100,000 to ensure that footage never saw the light of day. A payment made not to protect his privacy, but, prosecutors argue, to bury evidence that could destroy him. What makes this even more chilling is what the video supposedly reveals. Prosecutors say it's more than just an assault. It's a smoking gun that validates years of speculation. They allege that this violent act was part of a larger pattern, one where Cassie was groomed, isolated, and coerced into participating in what the indictment calls elite sex gatherings involving hired male escorts. Diddy's defense team argues it's all being blown out of proportion, that the payment was made to prevent scandal, not to conceal a crime. But the damage is done. The tape, whether seen by the public or not, has become a symbol of power abuse and secrets bought with silence. And as shocking as the footage sounds, it's just one piece of a broader puzzle that's starting to implicate others. Because as more stories surface, more names are getting drawn into the chaos, including unexpected figures from across the music world. And next in line, a deeper look into just how much Burna Boy knew. When Burna Boy flew to the US in early 2020 to begin work on Twice's tour, he wasn't just teaming up with a music legend. He was stepping into Diddy's world. And behind the glamorous Instagram posts and Grammy wins, that world may have had a darker undercurrent than most realized. Multiple reports suggest that during the making of the album, Diddy kept a tight, almost obsessive grip on the creative process. Burna's team has remained tight-lipped, but insiders claim the studio sessions were more than just music. There were social events, sometimes stretching late into the night, with an ever-changing cast of guests, security, and handlers. One producer, who asked not to be named, said the vibe could quickly shift from laid-back to controlled chaos. Diddy reportedly ran sessions like high-stake productions complete with champagne, private rooms, and a rotating list of influencers and performers. According to whispers floating around industry circles, these gatherings blurred the line between work and something else entirely. It's in this fog of blurred boundaries that prosecutors believe Burna Boy might have witnessed behavior relevant to case. Not necessarily criminal acts, but signs, moments, comments, interactions that now, in hindsight, could paint a clearer picture of who Diddy really was behind the public persona. Of course, Burna Boy hasn't made any public statement and is not required to until is called to the stand. But federal investigators reportedly want to know what he saw, what he heard, and whether anything stuck out at the time. Because even a single memory, a strange conversation, an unsettling demand could help connect the dots prosecutors are chasing. And as the spotlight sharpens, the world is starting to wonder, was Burna just another artist in the room, or an unexpected key to unlocking Diddy's secrets? But Burna isn't the only one feeling the heat, because Diddy's entire inner circle is starting to unravel. In cases like this, silence rarely lasts. And Diddy's once loyal inner circle is starting to crack. Former bodyguards, assistants, and longtime collaborators, people who once swore they'd never speak out, are now being subpoenaed, interviewed, or voluntarily coming forward. One by one, they are stepping out of the shadows. And what they are saying is painting a very different picture than the one the public saw. According to court documents, a former security advisor claimed that Diddy's homes weren't just party spots, they were controlled zones, where guests had to hand over phones, sign NDAs, and follow strict instructions. He described a culture of fear and silence, where asking the wrong question could get you shut out permanently. Another ex-employee, speaking under anonymity, told reporters that Diddy often surrounded himself with people who owed him something: career favors, money, loyalty. And when things got messy, those same people were expected to clean up, look the other way, or keep quiet. But that loyalty may finally be collapsing. Prosecutors believe at least 2 former insiders are cooperating behind closed doors, offering critical details in exchange for immunity. Their testimony could expose patterns of manipulation, threats, and hush money claims that go far beyond the Cassie video or studio rumors. And the impact? Massive. Because once the circle starts turning, more secrets spill. Every name, every timeline, every memory can become evidence. And it's a shifting tide that's putting even more pressure on Burna Boy, who, despite not being accused of anything, now finds himself surrounded by people who are flipping on Diddy fast. But what about Diddy himself? While his team insists he's innocent, the man at the center of it all has been strangely quiet. No music drops. No interviews. Just silence. And behind that silence, one question grows louder. What else is out there? For a man who built an empire on being loud, Diddy's silence is deafening. No statements. No social media rants. No surprise interviews to clear his name. Just nothing. And for fans and critics alike, that silence is starting to speak volumes. His lawyers say he's staying quiet on legal advice. But people who followed Diddy for years know he's never been one to hold back, especially when controversy hits. This is the same man who turned feuds into fuel, who built entire brands off confrontation. So why go dark now? Some insiders believe it's fear. Not fear of guilt, necessarily, but fear of what might still come out. Because in high-profile trials like this, it's often not the initial accusation that breaks you, it's what the investigation uncovers along the way. Others say it's strategy. By staying quiet, Diddy avoids adding fuel to the fire. He lets his legal team do the talking while he waits it out behind closed doors. But even this silence has consequences. With no public response, speculation fills a gap. Fans start to doubt. Brands back away. Longtime collaborators go quiet. And every day that passes without a word feels less like caution and more like avoidance. And as more names get pulled into the vortex, Cassie, Burna Boy, and now Diddy's own inner circle, his silence doesn't just protect him. It isolates him. But there's one final twist that could turn everything upside down. Just when the public thinks they've seen the worst, something else always slips out. And prosecutors are hinting there's more, a lot more waiting behind the scenes. Court filings reference undisclosed digital evidence and additional witness footage still under review. Investigators have reportedly seized hard drives, encrypted phone backups, and cloud accounts tied to Diddy's properties and former staff. Some of it, they claim, contains metadata that links specific events to specific individuals' timestamps, voice recordings, even internal messages. One rumored piece of evidence? A private group chat between several artists and managers allegedly discussing what really happened during one of Diddy's now infamous parties. Another? Audio files extracted from a former employee's burner phone, which prosecutors believe may reveal behind-the-scenes conversations about hush money and legal threats. Nothing has been confirmed yet, but if even a fraction of this evidence makes it to court, it could drastically reshape the narrative. And then there's the wild card, new witnesses. Reports suggest that at least 3 former associates, not previously involved, have recently reached out to the prosecution with relevant information. That could include more testimonies, more context, and possibly more victims. For Burna Boy, this looming mountain of evidence only add pressure. He is not accused of anything, but any ties to events under investigation, even peripheral ones, could drag him further into a story he likely never signed up for. And for Diddy, the longer he stays quiet, the more dangerous the waiting game becomes. Because once the next piece drops, it might not just change the case. It could destroy what's left of his legacy. Sean Diddy Combs isn't just a music mogul. He's a cultural icon. For decades, he built a brand synonymous with success, power, and influence. But now, that legacy is hanging by a thread. If convicted, the consequences won't just be legal. They'll ripple through the music industry and beyond. Contracts could be voided, partnerships dissolved, and fans left questioning everything they thought they knew about the man behind the persona.
Took so long, man. I love you too much. You're taking it all back, man. Colonization.
I'm in Lower Manhattan waiting, watching, and wondering how this high-profile saga will end. Because in the world of fame and fortune, the truth is often the hardest hit.